time for all the action on a little bit of a new dance floor. They've kitted out the floors, they've gotten wooden paneling installed, they've gotten all these nice new lights put in for the TikTokers, but the old school dancers, they're feeling like something's missing. We need a skybox.
No, we don't. It is a pretty map, that's for sure, but whether or not teams have actually figured out the new ways to play Inferno or not is still up in the air. Rosdosh, dualies, and ready to greet them out of the apartments, but found by peppzorlul and the double kill in on that bomb site. So it starts off wonderfully here for the Eyeballers. They just dart straight through that app smoke, find 3 kills, and that's a free plant, a free round basically for the pistol.
And a free opportunity for sAw to save. Honestly, there is no real reason for them to contest over here. And yeah, that looked easy.
Yeah, it's actually very surprising that we didn't see more impact from those dualies, considering that's kind of the prime position you're expecting them to get a lot of impact. Like a smoke at your feet, players jumping out. There's nobody really accounting for short, I think was maybe the problem. You know, playing within the bomb site, and the player in pit just unable to really counteract it. I can't believe JW's found that timing as well. We have a knife in the pistol as well. JW just continues to surprise with the ways he finds these kills.
I mean, is that a technical? Like, was he timed?
I don't know.
Is that why there's a pause?
I'm just as confused as you are. But that pistol round, basically, like with the smoke that was down and everything, sAw should have gotten way more impact out of that. So they're gonna be a little bit disappointed that ape site hold just seemed to break down so quickly. Like all it took was one smoke, one flash, and they basically got everything they wanted.
I'm actually trying to look up how many times Eyeballers have played the new Inferno. Feels like it's actually been quite a few times. So they've played it about 4 times so far, which, considering CS2 has not been out for that long, is pretty high. No, never mind, 2. I got the dates wrong. So yeah, they've played it twice. Once was versus Alliance, the other Swedish team. They won that one out, 16-13, and the other time was earlier on in the Challenger League, funnily enough. It was versus Looking for Org, and that was a third map decider that they ended up losing out on. Did struggle a bit on their T side. And versus Alliance, you know, it was pretty even because it was overtime. So yeah, we don't really know what to expect is what I'm getting at.
That is one thing that sAw and Eyeballer seem to share in common, is that they both lost to Looking for Org within this group.
I think sAw might have also lost to them in the qualifier for the Jönköping Challenger event that's about to come up in November as well. So there is that to obviously consider. But yeah, it's not been a great time. There is a disconnection. There's going to be a little bit of a technical timeout. I think we can maybe call a bit of a timeout for ourselves as well. I might need to get my hands dirty in the server, get these, you know, old wire busters out again. We're going to see you guys in just a bit.
break up, don't speak for a couple of weeks. I'll be in his place till he calls and says he's sorry. This situation's on repeat, just like a scratch on a CD. It just gets deeper when you hit rewind. How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision.
We are back into things, and the timer is officially running out. I believe that JW probably got to keep his money. Obviously, you know, knife happened. Even if he wanted to reset it, I don't think you can, according to the rules. So, yeah.
Yeah, maybe a bit unfortunate there for sAw, but it doesn't really change the dynamic of this round too much. You know, that extra change in JW's pocket will only really matter if sAw start to answer back, or at least do some damage to the economy. Also, those are the things that you can't take away from anyone. Knife kills? I'm not resetting any rounds for anything.
Could end up being a 5-man stack over here on this A bomb site from sAw. And at the rate that this is going, could end up dangerous. They've got the nice little chair squad out back to the apartment side. It is a long hit to come through. First kill won't be coming their way. Roman finds it almost solo. Sapek as well, taken down low, so he has to be careful about how much he's really exposing it. Two players have shown themselves. They are going to be walking into a stack. Arizdosh is fake out the drop down, but they've got more frags coming through. Arizdosh running out of bullets, can't finish off what he started. Still another clean kill. It's insane to me. The amount of clean pistol kills that have happened over here is so surprising, considering they did go into a 5-man stack.
And Heap didn't have a clue that there was an extra man even on the balcony. His teammate just kept calling it from the apartments like, there's one more, I swear to you, there's one more. And then he dies instead of Heap. That was a round that was way too close for just USPs and the pistols that were saved over from the pistol round, which was Roman on the dualies. Yeah, I mean, that's not a cost-effective round, but it's a round nonetheless. And maybe that extra $1,500 in JW's pocket does actually make a difference now, because, you know, that extra buffer is nice. You know, you can firmly invest, but yeah, going into that first gun round will be rough.
Yeah, we've been experimenting because, you know, I've been reading a lot of Reddit, Michael, right? And I've been giving feedback to the ESL crew. I've been trying to reach out to the product managers, giving them all the insight of what people really want.
Right.
And you know, Reddit's been complaining to me that, oh my God, all these casters, all they care about is fun and skits and this and that, but we want hard-hitting analysis. So what we've decided here is that we're going to take a pause at the end of every round. We're going to break down the round for you guys step by step, and that way you Reddit hive minds can have a good old time watching this podcast, because we know this is what Counter-Strike fans really want, right? This is what they really want. They want pauses, they want analysis, they want explanations. And Michael, I think one of the core explanations there is, you know, just the dynamics of the dualies, their fire rate, the headshots, Roman able to get so much damage up, and then Sapek doing such a good job of sort of diverting between players, switching out attention. I've got nothing to it. It's an anti-eco.
No, I mean, you're not wrong to a certain extent, you know, like Roman getting that one kill in the archers actually just scared them from going B, I think. You know, they immediately peeled back into the stack, so if you wanted anyone to do anything, that was the one kill that made the stack work, if we wanted to actually break it down further than that. But also just no due diligence done by eyeballers, really. You know, they just tried to go for a full hit into a stack, and that's just how it happens sometimes. If anybody's... This is the thing. Like, if we're going to start talking about the Reddit hive mind and what they want, half the time they'll like certain things, and half the time they won't like certain things, because some people are good at the game, some people are bad at the game, some people also just don't like the way that people present things. So you can't please everyone.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, some people are also bad at the game, but they think they're good at the game. And you know what? I think I might have described myself a little bit too succinctly. I need some self-reflection time. We'll be back after a break.
break up. Don't speak for a couple of weeks. I'll be in his place till he calls and says he's sorry. This situation's on repeat, just like a scratch on a CD. It just gets deeper when you hit rewind. How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, hurt you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left here with you. Say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue? I'm feeling kinda used, yeah, like a drug that you take when you're sick of crying all your tears away. Is that all I am? All I want is for you to be happy. You know this ain't healthy. Do I make you happy? How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, what you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left here with you. Say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue? I'm doing everything he doesn't do, but I'm still not enough. Even your parents know I'm good for you, but I'm still not enough. You wanna be done with him, you're stuck with him, 'cause you don't have the guts. And after all I've done, I'm still not enough. Still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left here with you. Say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue?
A game, my kingdom for a game. I don't actually have a kingdom, but yeah. We're back into things. Hopefully we can stay in things. MUTiRiS is waiting for a faster push to come through from apartments. He heard footsteps from quite a while away, maybe trying to mask out the sounds of Dosh. That's the only reason why you can expect that early fight to be taken. But Dosh, you can mask whatever you want. He's still had his face chopped off regardless.
He pulled the trigger too early. He heard all those steps. He heard a whole rampart of players coming his way, and he just couldn't do anything about it. He tried to pre-fire, and that just simply was not the move. You know, all he needed to do was get 1 kill, 2 maybe, to slow them down. Even just doing damage, I think, would have been enough to add a bit of hesitance to their burst out of the apartments, so that Dosh could have gotten that flank. But yeah, MUTiRiS, not what you wanted to see out of him in this first gun round, but I am just glad that Counter-Strike is back on the screen. Eyeballers continuing their good form, though, finding a lot of success already out of this T side, even though they had a very costly second round, which, if you weren't with us before we encountered that technical timeout, they ran into a full stack of USPs and only survived with 2. So,
oh no.
Nice for them to have had all 5 survive. But, oh dear, here we go again. We have had a bit of a recurring theme now. Between every round, we have to... we're cutting to us, and we're really getting into the nitty-gritty. I need you to...
I just need some Counter-Strike,
sink your teeth into that round, tea time. I don't want to see no tears.
CS2. I can't do it anymore. I can't do any more analysis, Michael. He heard the footsteps. He fired first. That's all there was to that round. peppzorlul couldn't get the flank in either. Those footsteps weren't masked out from the MP9 fire because it just died too early. Now, please, let me watch the game. Redditors be damned. Redditors be damned.
Yeah, I think that's acceptable. I think that's an acceptable breakdown.
Can we go back into the game now?
But one can only hope. We don't get rewarded with cookies quite so quickly. We've had to do some match medicing for people just to keep people in the loop. We do actually have a working match medic, I believe, but I think the file got corrupted, and so things have to be done manually. And now if there are more tech issues, that might mean that we have to do that again, which could be interesting. Yeah, CS2 has broken a bunch of stuff, basically. So.
I know what's going on over here, Michael. The admins have realized this. When was JW at his best, Michael?
During technical timeouts?
2014.
Right.
The year where we still didn't know how to do production, and we still had some of the most massive tech timeouts known to mankind.
But that was on
We're
LAN.
just trying to resurrect shit.
It's so different when it's on LAN, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you could walk around and, you know, you could at least talk to your teammates. You know, we weren't strictly enforcing no tech timeouts. Nobody discusses anything. You know, that was before coaching was outlawed by Valve and then reintroduced. So,
dude, timeouts were wild back then. In all fairness, I will say there are so many instances where now, when I think back, it's just like someone is just talking to the other players, like, "Oh, tech timeout! Oh, quickly, it's okay." We're all fine, right? I do think CS was much more of the Wild West. You think back even to like the hat rules when they were initially, the reason why the hat rules had to be removed was because some players were just like using the hats to get the noise canceling headphones off of their ears just enough so they could hear caster audio a little bit more, right? And then when they removed the hats, and there was Hatgate. We legitimately had Hatgate, right? This is how much like less snowflakey the Counter-Strike community is now. We went from people being outraged about not wearing hats to people being like, maybe Michael Jackson does belong in Counter-Strike. Who knows?
And also, you know, now we're complaining. Like, I do find it funny, you know, if we compare the different eras CSGO has already had, because, you know, once upon a time we used to have hard resets in the economy, and everybody's complaining about the economy and the current state of the game. And, you know, I may be one of those people. I think that there could be a shift in the economy in the future with MR12. But we used to have hard resets, MR15. You'd see, like, 16-6 score lines on the regular. You'd see 16-3s on the regular on, like, maps like Nuke. And people, you know, that was just something you had to deal with at the time. And then we had the introduction. It's like, oh, wait, we've got way more gun rounds and there's more force buys. This is way too chaotic. And now we like that. But we wanted more now. Like, we've changed, you know. We're a community that don't like change, but we've changed.
I think it's just that we don't really know what we've got till we've lost it, right? And because we've got some time to theorycraft, Michael, I know I theorycraft about economics with you a little bit sometimes. Let me do a little bit of it right now as well, because I've been thinking about this a lot, right? I've been crunching some of the numbers. I've seen a lot of people saying, hey, just remove $1,400 loss bonus. I don't think that's a solution. I've got it in my head, Michael. If a CT team defuses the bomb,
right?
Like, we go back to the old economy, right? So it's hard resets, but the condition is if a CT team defuses the bomb, or if they're on like a 5-round loss bonus and then they win a round with maybe like just 1 player left or 2 players left. I don't know. They can't get that complicated, but theoretically, you just get $1,000 extra. That's all. That's all I say. Let it be hard resets, and then that way, at the very least, if you are hard reset, it will be on a gun round, right? Because I think the unfair part about that in Counter-Strike seemed to be like, hey, well, I did just win my first gun round, but I only kept 1 player alive, so now I know I'm going to be hard reset, right? So it feels like, hey, if you are hard reset on a full gun round, that's legitimate to me. You know what? You just aren't good, right? Just get good, bro.
I mean, alternatively, you know, kind of along your same line of thinking is that whatever bonus you get for the plant, you get as the defuse bonus, right? Because that could then, you know, it becomes a risk reward analysis that you have to do, or like a cost saving analysis you have to do as a T side. I actually don't hate that idea. I actually really don't hate that idea. And I do hate quite a lot of your ideas. So
exactly, this is how far we've come, Michael, as a team. You and me, Michael. You and me.
Yeah, this is growth. I guess.
I thought you were about to say gross, and I was like, well, okay, wow, that was a little bit demeaning, but okay. No, regardless, though, there's, unfortunately, I don't have any growth on the ideas of what's going on in the server right now.
Listen,
Hopefully...
we can just like, the game is technical issues, fine. We can just talk about like Counter-Strike as a whole. You know, we had IM Sydney, first CS2, like big tier 1 event. LAN looked good. You know, I feel like that LAN actually ran really, really smoothly. Surprising, North America's back somehow. I don't know if that's just a CS2 thing or if, like, Complexity are legit. And then now, after one tier 1 event, we have, like, all these rumors about roster shuffles and everything's going up in smoke
back,
with...
baby!
I mean, it's roster mania after player breaks, after one tournament. It feels like we're getting so much rotation. It's actually a very interesting time, just purely for the drama, to look at like all these top teams and what's going to happen. Because now, you know, Complexity phase, what's going to happen to those organizations? Is Liquid getting a new team? What's happening with Heroic? If anybody's not kept up, there's new stuff with Heroic that's I'm not going to go into too much here on the broadcast, because you can find that on Twitter, I'm sure. And we just
feel like we can touch on it quickly, right? Like, there's been, statements given out about Heroic. Obviously, it's one of the best teams in the world. They are very relevant to the Counter-Strike calendar, even, for ESL. Hell, maybe for ESL Challenger, because they might end up there pretty soon, if you know what I mean. They might end up losing out a lot of their players. And obviously, if maybe some of the people aren't as knowledgeable about what's going on with FaZe, Complexity's parent company has bought out FaZe as a whole, not just FaZe, the Counter-Strike team. So it puts it in a very interesting place where ESL now has to make rulings about it, which team will be allowed to go on, what's going to be the status over there. Twist is obviously picked out from FaZe anyway. And whenever there's projects like this, it feels like you're just waiting for one player to go and then the floodgates are open, right? Because then it's like that unity is broken. Like, hey, we're going to stick together. Kumbaya. No kumbaya. Everyone's taking offers. Everyone's checking out the field. Maybe 2 people stick together. Maybe 3 people do. But then you don't really know what's going to be happening through. I think for Complexity, Michael, though, that's definitely like one of the best things for those 5 players, that they did perform pretty well. Because otherwise, I was just thinking in my head, if they do badly at this event, I'm just getting Carrigan and Brokey into the team, and maybe Rops as well. Why not?
Well, no, because we don't actually know for certain whether Twist is going to go to Liquid. That's rumor. We are very reliable usually with our leaks, but sometimes they're miss, or sometimes things change very last second, and the rumor was right, but then it's wrong towards the end of it. So who's to say? But yeah, there's a lot of justification for Complexity to stay over FaZe, which I think will sour people in a certain way, because that FaZe roster is very iconic within Counter-Strike. But I think in terms of like global esports or like other esports, it's not really a big reputable brand aside from, I think, Call of Duty and CS. So those are the 2 mainstays. And maybe they still float the idea of having a team, but maybe not with ones with the overheads like this FaZe team, for example.
I mean, funnily enough, even in Call of Duty, FaZe doesn't actually have a team. FaZe has licensed their name out to the Atlanta brand for the Call of Duty League. So they haven't actually fielded a team. So it's just Atlanta FaZe, but Atlanta is just paying for the rights to put FaZe in their name.
Oh,
right?
I
So
thought they
FaZe
were
isn't,
actually like
putting,
that was their team.
No, so FaZe isn't putting any of these players on a payroll, right? Because obviously they've been in financial straits. They've been having difficult times financially. So outside of CS2/Go, I actually think they have no like reputable esports teams. Maybe one of the esports we don't care about, like Rocket League or whatever, right? But it's like
but they can
vroom, cars go whoosh.
Yeah, but they can lean on their strengths. You know, they're very like
Yeah.
influencer driven. You know, they've got a lot of good culture around esports, but not necessarily. You know, they don't need to necessarily have an esports team, so
Yeah.
to speak. So there's a lot of different ways.
Someone's got to
pitch
do the
it.
React cameras, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of different ways you can pitch it if you own two esports organizations. So, you know, I actually thought it was kind of fitting because it was just before the acquisition happened that they ended up in the finals. And, you know, we got the
Yeah.
news that it was going to happen. And then, you know, you get a kind of like a showcase of what Complexity can do because the fact that team did so well is actually very promising. And I don't know, I'm happy for Elige. I'm happy for a lot of the players on that team, to be honest, because it felt like they were one, maybe two roster moves away a few times of being a decent team. And they showed exactly that at the first event. But it is just kind of crazy the fallout that's happened. You know, even the rumors that are circling teams like G2 or ENCE or, you know, teams that at the top currently that you could see justifiably don't need to make a roster move, for example, are suddenly, you know, we don't know if they're even safe bets anymore. So, you know, I've only got faith that MUTiRiS at the moment may just be, they'll stay.
Listen, put it this way, right? I'm looking at the top few teams in the HL2 rankings. G2 is number one. Roster moves are saying that Nico and Monazi might be out of G2. I mean, rumors, not roster moves. Sorry, rumors. ENCE, there's rumors that Snappy might be out of ENCE. Vitality, there's rumors that Magis might be out of Vitality. MUTiRiS, it's probably no one's going out from MUTiRiS, but, you know, FaZe, we've already discussed what's going on over there. Navi, who knows when Simple's going to play next, right? He's having his, like, visa issues and whatnot going on as well. Heroic's at number 7. Heroic, obviously, we just talked about it. Heroic even just played, like, an official match a couple of hours ago with 3 new players, Dupree, and 2 players who I had never heard of before in my life. You know, then you're going to Complexity, which is like, hey, yeah, those guys probably should stay the same, but also they do probably end up having access to all of these like new players in case they do want to pick someone out of that, right? So are you really going to say no to maybe picking up some of the most legendary players in the game right now? I don't really know. So Astralis, there's rumors going around about them, you know, maybe trying to snipe some of the Heroic players. It's literally I think 8 out of the top 10 teams are just going out here like
just no idea what's going on, basically.
What are we gonna do, baby? It's a magic show.
It's like from one event to the next, we're just gonna have like completely different rosters potentially, which is, I don't know, it's a strange period because everybody wants to be the first team to do well at that first major, and you know, there's a lot riding on that, I think, for organizations, especially even new ones that are sort of looking to peer in. You know, if they want to be a reputable organization, they understand that getting onto the ground early is better than coming in late when the competition is at its all-time highest. So it's a crazy time to be a CS fan, but it has been an even crazier time if you're a fan of either of these two teams, because we have been waffling on for quite some time, and we're still only 3 rounds in, but Eyeballers in the lead with their T-side start.
Yeah, CS2 is giving us 15-minute average round timers.
Yeah, you wanted shorter games. Ha!
Feld doesn't listen to what you say.
Yeah, but all these people had to listen to what we had to say. For far too long, probably.
This is why Twitch gave the option of, you know, going to stream A. I hope you guys didn't, though. And if you did, I hope that you are back, because this one should still be, despite all delays, a wonderful game to keep an eye out for. Oh. Sapping decides not to re-smoke out the arches. Now, we realize that there are some issues going on with the HUD as far as Molotovs are concerned. Those should be fixed eventually, but maybe just not immediately. JW, strong entry, story is gone.
This is going to be a problem. having this forward presence over towards Banana. Molotov's good, though. UJerk's forced out into the open, and Heap capitalizing on the frag. Not missing out on any opportunities are the eyeballers. Being very meticulous, very slow, drawn-out round, but sAw don't really have a lot of sort of activating pieces of utility. You know, they couldn't have flashed in. They didn't take early spawns in sort of high contest areas, except for Banana. And now that that's been sussed out, this round is looking very, very dire. Orozdo's just taking the fight on short, and it's a desperate play. He was just simply hoping that, for some reason, the eyeballers were resetting B, and he could maybe go out to flank them or cut them off before they got into the site. But instead, he gives over this A-bomb site, and eyeballers get that planted with 6 seconds remaining, but it's enough for another round win for the Swedes.
In case you guys don't remember what happened earlier on, eyeballers did lose out quite a few players versus the anti-eco, but then they had a clean round afterwards. So they do actually have the money to go out and hunt if they would like to. Doesn't seem to be a priority for them. Well, wouldn't hate that personally.
Yeah, I think you sacrifice like 1 rifle at most, really. I think teams are a lot more conscientious of, or at least just more, they're of more present mind that, you know, that economy can very quickly flip-flop the other way. You know, with a limited amount of rounds, limiting casualties actually becomes more important. So that's why we still see saves quite frequently in MR12. We see players, I think, actually investigate hunts less and less as well. So I like the decision to just continue bolstering their funds, because now they've got enough in the reserve for, should they lose rounds, they've got two in the back pocket. What a relief, a timeout, but a tactical one this time from sAw.
Thank God.
I haven't been keeping track, because we have been so stop-start to notice trends, but I don't think sAw have been utilizing the deep mid-smoke that I think, I personally believe is the strongest smoke that you can know on this map on CT. It's a 2-for-1. You know, you get Banana sectioned off, you get T-Stair sectioned off, you can throw mollies deep, you can aggro into second mid a lot more freely.
Yeah.
I feel like options really open up.
Let's see, it does feel like the only response to that is to just have more of the second mid focus default and a Banana retake, but
There it is.
There you go. Smoke to come through, out from spawn, and there she blows. Now, there's a nade right into it as well to try and prevent JW from sneaking past. JW has made his way up mid regardless. There's no Molotovs behind it, nothing like it, so if you want to try and make room or carve out space, he will have the opportunity.
See, the problem with this is that they threw the smoke, and they're, like you're sort of saying, there's no Molotov to deter anybody from actually peeking into the underground. If that's coupled with a Molotov, you basically can't get that mid space at all unless you flash through the, like, over the wall and you run through the smoke, but then you could just very easily fall into the line of an AWPer, for example. Or just anyone holding a little tighter to the left-hand side of mid, but again, it's just free open territory that eyeballers are allowed to explore, but there are 4 on this A-bomb site.
JW finds Story, and although there were 4 initially, with the early 2 kills that they found, eyeballers could have still broken onto the site. Regardless, they choose to shift away back to B. I am slightly surprised about that, but considering that sAw in the few rounds that we have seen from them have rotated fast, is that one way?
There ain't no such thing as one ways anymore, but they may just blow the smoke, and yeah, just revealing Roman right behind it. Only good for 1, and he needed to get more than that if his team wanted a fighting chance in this round.
And right back to 2 saves, that is all sAw will have. And eventually you have to start hunting if you're eyeballers. Your money is booming right now. And losing out a couple more isn't the biggest of deals. You already do have... Also, it's not like you can give over more rifles to sAw. They already have the AK and M4.
Nah, they're speaking my language. You're not hunting? I'm not hunting until I've got 6 rounds, at least.
I don't like your language, though.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't speak saws. No, go for the retake. You're already in the hole. Not that any other team would go for that retake either, but...
Gotta say, I am liking what I'm seeing from JW. He's getting very active early on. He's making sure that sAw can't get aggressive out from second mid. Nothing like it either. So despite the deep mid smoke, if that's the counter call that they have, I don't hate it. Especially if sAw want to continue nading down mid. Regardless, it does feel like that defeats some of the purpose of it because you can't have backup for JW. But now JW has got the op for himself. So how does he want to work off of this one? Always tricky to use this, but I think all the more so with the mid smoke that is going to, you know, like you mentioned, has become sort of standard.
Well, that's supposed to be a standard Molotov, but one that's missed. They do start trying to peek into Ward's middle, but nobody's actually going to stick around to find out whether or not eyeballers are investigating that area. I think one thing to note from the eyeballers is that they've got a lot of very explosive, fast-paced players. They're playing with a lot of restraint on this T side. They're allowing the CTs to operate. They're playing together in pairs very frequently, and they're honestly just playing a very patient game and outmaneuvering sAw in the macro very frequently. So I have to say, very impressed with what eyeballers are offering us up.
Let's see whether that continues or we will maybe see a change of pace. Flash through for sAw to try and get a bit more information down middle. He has been left to lurk. Now, Story could get the better of him here. And indeed he does. sAw ends up falling, and with this, the jig is up. The B-bomb site will be put under attack. Smoke down, but they have been no strangers to nading it open. No nades present. Eyeballers will have to do this the old-fashioned way. Just wait it out right.
Yeah, and the jig is up. By the time they break through this smoke, it'll be about 20 seconds remaining on the clock, and they've got 2 players already hunkered into this bomb site. Smoke down to CT, but the flash is in, the counter there. Heap actually turning too quick, but Shine's the one that covers his corner. Roman's still at the back of the bomb site. I know he's traditionally the B-side player, but revealing his hand, that flash that sailed in, he gets nothing, empty-handed on what was a double-man setup. They had the util available. sAw, once again, this bomb has gone down. There's nothing they can really do about it.
Already moved past the Molotov. They should have heard that one, but instead they might think it was just singeing his feet behind. MUTiRiS has got 2. Right back to a 2-on-2, and the retake attempt could be what gives sAw a chance to come back into this, but they still need to scale up against JW's op, and a flashbang chucked out early for Heap to peek. Arrows goes blind, and it is Heap to continue on his reign of destruction. 6-0. The eyeballers are looking stunning right now, and I cannot believe that sAw do not cheat rotations. It takes them so long, and sure, MUTiRiS gets a great double kill, gives them a chance to on that retake, but felt like sAw was just in such a good position they didn't use it.
Yeah, it feels like just because they've been hammered so many times already on the CT side, they almost froze when they found that kill via Story onto the arches, thinking that there must have been more where that came from. Eyeballers have traditionally ran around in a pack, and this was one of the few times that they separated one player on the lurk, so too afraid to hunt for that information, even though we started getting down to that sort of 25, 27 second mark. And so none of those rotates could get cheated over because they didn't have a read. They didn't have that information to play off of. Eyeballers are fully capitalizing, and some of the opportunities, it's not like they haven't been there for sAw. You know, if Roman had maybe peeked a half second earlier, or had that, maybe even if without a flash, for example, there could have been a way for him to have found a kill, an angle overlooked. Eyeballers were running low on time. They needed to get the bomb down, and so there is going to be a little bit of a lackadaisical clear, or a little bit of urgency that can detract from your aim in those crucial moments. Nothing's pulling their way. Much faster pace in from sAw, taking that deep mid position, beating past a lot of the utility, and still trying to catch players off guard. A fresh smoke, though, blooming at his feet. That's because there's one of the arches, so it's a call and response between the T and the CT for now. Already leaning a 4th player over towards that A bomb site just to give over utility. Actually, U-Jerk's running right back to try and reinforce Roman's position.
It does feel like sAw is just not used that bottom mid smoke to its fullest effect either, but you know what? Early frag out of JW is a nice way to start off, especially when the stack on the A bomb site is just going to be reinforced. More so, 4 players can keep themselves there. Roman's got a firm handle on Banana. He's got a smoke behind him as well. So, with 45 seconds, it feels like they could never go into Banana. And this Molotov from Arizdosh looks to be impeccably placed. If he can just get it off and doesn't just get immediately headshot out. And yep, he prevented that from happening. Molotov now in front of him. They cannot trail in. Have to reround back to Boiler where MUTiRiS is waiting underneath shelter. Great first kill. Can he get to? No. Trade's too good from Shine, but Story's still covered off peppzorlul. So it's a 4-on-2 now. Only 2 players on this bomb site and both of them are down. Again, the bomb will be planted with barely any time left and it feels like sAw are just outplaying themselves, but the round isn't done yet.
This 2v2 is difficult, no kit available, so they need to actually close that gap rather quickly. UJerks with an MP9 at distance, not the ideal weapon for the fight, but one inside of the site. First to take contact is Heat, but he finds his kill, and Roman closing in on that gap, finding the trade. Shine taking the wide angle face, but Roman's got it. You said it in the pregame, it was many moons ago, but Roman in clutches just delivers for sAw.
I can't believe he's needed though. That's a 4-on-2. They're cheating back to the B bomb site. That's how afraid they are with that.
Yeah.
Even though they have a player there. Right? They've done everything perfectly, and even then they only keep 1 player alive. Look at their economy.
Yeah, they had a strong crossfire as well to deal with double short from the apartments and from that default box. And they both lost their fight.
Yeah. Simultaneously.
Yeah.
Say all credit out to Eyeballers. They're doing such a good job on some of these high pressure situations. Doesn't feel like this is a team that has a, you know, pretty much non-existent win rate on this map.
Yeah, fairly losing record. Aside from the recent, some of the recent officials, there's been a lot of L's.
It's time to catch a dub. Smokes exchange in middle. There's a lot of utility out from the Swedes. MUTiRiS, though, on the other side of it is combined with Story. Only good for as many as Eyeballers got those, so still even in the numbers game. That numbers game, though, might be switched around. Story's caught off, and JW now covering down mid. He doesn't know there's 2 players who've already moved past. No, only the one. UJerks with the MP9 moving in. Will find the kill, but it's JW to trade for the player in the backside. So UJerks on the MP9 still his favorite weapon, but Shine's low, and UJerks has got the frag. Bomb, where's it planted? Can he find it? Yes, he can. It's not planted for JW, but a Molotov is certainly going to be helpful, especially with UJerks having no HP and no kit. JW now changing things around. Switches back over to the apartment. Tries to swing out wide. Doesn't even need it. UJerks was visible. Couldn't get the defuse out, and that's a 7th round on the board for Eyeballers. The CT economy reset as well.
Man, that's that JW flare iconic move that you want to see for the Eyeballers. How many AWPers are you going to see when his team have found the double entry that they need to through mid? You know, they smoked off the arches. They're going up in towards that A-bomb site. How many AWPers are going to walk through the arches smoke to catch not only either the rotate or the player throwing support util to try and delay? Like, JW was so tricky with the way that he was playing that round, and the clutch on top is just a chef's kiss.
Oh, there's so much util damage this round.
Oh, yeah. Almost 200 for sAw, but Eyeballers have done quite a lot of damage themselves.
Yeah.
But it's on pistols, so it feels more excusable.
To be honest, this does set up sAw for a lot of potential success, though, right? This half fight got 2 players who are very weak. Sure, sAw themselves aren't doing too hot either, but it's just about getting that 1 deagle shot in. Or even the 5.7 will do fine for a snap. I think Shine is in 2 deep territory for close range as well. Although I'm never sure about that.
I think you're about right. Math does seem to check out. Well, this is strange. Or A-side leading at one point or another, but now with the util down, sAw have called it all over to B. And that's where eyeballers are headed with that low HP. MUTiRiS already finding the first head.
JW was one of the healthy ones as well. He now has been picking up the AWP, Shine to trade, but he knows that's not the only player there. Roman finds another one. There is still peppzorlul in the back lines trying to hold down the A bomb site, but they're afraid of the mid push that's never coming. Shine doing everything on his own inside the site. There's no weapons for the CTs to recover yet. That's the only advantage, but time running out. Can they find the kill? Will they need to? Like they do, because the bomb can't be recovered, and peppzorlul has gotten away with murder. He will get away with an op, but even if peppzorlul lets him, doesn't use the Molotov, will not realize he had it.
That's a wild round to win. I mean, a lot of desperation there from both teams. sAw made the right call in stacking that B bomb site, but then they started losing numbers. Had to be kills through smoke. You know, Roman revealing his hand towards dark, you know, just buying more and more time off of that clock, for which eyeballers just couldn't do anything to stop it. By the time they got a handle back on the situation, smokes had faded, and they just couldn't deal with that last man in CT spawn. So, great job from sAw on that low buy. Could be enough to reinvigorate the rest of this half for them. You know, that's a lost round that you're not supposed to have fall through your fingertips if you're the eyeballers. All that built up money. There's still a way that your economy can break by the end of this half. You're looking flawless. That was at a time. 3 players on 13k.
Story, beautiful shot on the heat, will be giving them the advantage early on, and the lean back to A is almost instant. I wonder if eyeballers has realized that because of the early apartment smoke to come through, but they're certainly accelerating up through short. They want to take control of this bomb site. Smoke down to cordon off MUTiRiS as well. peppzorlul taken down. Shine to find it on the wider swing, but in behind their own smoke is still a player. MUTiRiS and MUTiRiS trying to do what they can, but it won't be enough. peppzorlul takes them down back to a 2-on-2, and historically they've been winning these post plants, but can this be any different with JW's first kill? It doesn't seem likely.
Those where both are. One planter, one in pit, but it's all about whether or not they give him this fight outright. We still don't really know where Story's gone off to, so they're considering a multitude of different options. Could have reset back towards short, but finally making his step, and peppzorlul nails him. 3 kills for peppzorlul breaking into this A bomb site. He was the one that really salvaged a lot of those frags, finding trades, and was the one that closed the gap, got that bomb down for the eyeballers to secure another 8 already here on this T side. This has been a very successful venture on their pick in the series.
I have to say, this is really reminding me of old school Swedish Counter-Strike, and it's really fun to watch, right? You know, just this great trading. If you're committing to the swing, everyone's committing out. You're not afraid to let the clock wind down, just winning out on trades, and not necessarily the most, hey, we're going to make everything picture perfect, but if I'm swinging, you're swinging with me, and one of us is going to get the kill, right? It's a good time.
I don't remember Swedish Counter-Strike being as slow as this, but on every other point, I'm right there with you. They're ready to
did grow a little bit old.
Yeah, older, wiser.
Yeah.
And not as many CZs.
People don't understand how much fun that meta was. Even it was really stupid, but it was so much fun as a casual fan.
Mm-hmm. Can't afford an AK. Let me just buy this $500 pistol instead.
Oh no.
That's unlucky.
Look at how hyperactive sAw are getting now. Does feel like eyeballers are very much in their heads. And look, in all fairness, you are on a half buy. It's fine to be hyperactive right now, but there still isn't really that much of finding information or anything like it. There's still not that much of traditional quote-unquote Inferno gameplay from the CTs. Unfortunately, with peppzorlul turned around, he is he's kind of dead.
Yeah. If JW was alone there, he might have gone for another knife, but because his team relied on breaking into this bomb site, and realistically there could have been another man here, he decides to just pull the trigger.
He had to set an example for the young ones.
Yeah.
They're around.
an example. He walked through an arc smoke and he got a knife kill. I mean,
But everyone was alive, right? So they couldn't spec him. He could just be like, oh, I think it was lagged out. Yeah.
now they're probably just like, great job, JW. I don't know what you did, but that's you. That's your gameplay, I guess.
That's why you're here, baby.
Yeah. Oh,
Sorry.
well, that's
never mind.
unfortunate. Looked like he had a timing.
Someone's trying to open up a poultry farm, and he will defend it with his life. You can't take my chickens from me. I'll get my life instead.
I'm actually curious if Heap saw the chicken first and then saw it drop off, and he was like, oh, it was just a chicken, and there was actually somebody there. You know, I wonder if he had to do a double take, just like, wait a second, did I see a CT or a chicken?
I mean, since we're talking about old things in CS, I do still remember like the little doves that would fly up on train, which were just always distracting for operas outside Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could also stand on them and fly up in the air once in a while. That's a separate story.
So I used to be able to jump off grenades as well. Nade boosting was a time of Counter-Strike.
I don't know about that. I know about gun boosting. I don't know about nade boosting.
Yeah, I think there was a patch, and
Okay.
we've had a few of those. We had the double jump period.
Ah, yes.
We had getting stuck in ceilings period.
Well, right now, Saw's having the losing to eyeballer spirit, and teams thought they were done with that in 2007, but it feels like not quite.
Yeah, so have been the gatekeepers, but right now this gate is fully open. Might be one of the many changes that Inferno has gone through. And I think there was a bit of criticism perhaps levied towards sAw on this map in some of their previous rosters. I think there is some criticism to be levied here as well. Maybe not taking as much control. Eyeballers have had kind of the free range of the map, aside from Banana, maybe 1 or 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And it's always been reactions and trying to gamble stack in the right bomb site, and they've not always called the right site.
Even now, it just feels like Saw, sure, they've got a good timing on the banana smoke, don't get me wrong, but you are just waiting for the T side to effectively execute in. You don't have anything else that help you out at all. MUTiRiS is dead on the rotate as well, and Heap and Shine have been great on these entries consistently. So again, under 10 seconds, the bomb will be planted, but it doesn't look like Eyeballers is ever really second-guessing themselves at all.
This is so much more one-sided than I was anticipating coming into this game. I thought sAw were the only ones that could punish pick, but the Eyeballers, with their 23% win rate, have just pulled off a 10-2 half starting T side on their map pick. We'll have to see how things go in the second half and whether sAw can come back after a break.
very one-sided affairs, and it feels like eyeballers have basically shut down this case of Inferno already. Can sAw wrench it back open? A pistol round win would certainly help, but I don't think it'll be enough.
Yeah, a very, very hard and steep mountain to climb. I don't imagine, you know, firm mountains are very easy to climb. You know, you can't sink your boots into them.
Just a cotton candy mountain, I guess.
Yes. The softest kind, I'm sure, would also be very difficult. You need a medium firmness. 4 players on A.
Yeah. It's time to see whether they can actually hold on the same way they got into Size Heap. Starts off strong. JW does the same. Roman catching out peppzorlul, but slow on the shot. MUTiRiS, can't say the same for him. Still a 3-on-3, but they do have a kit available for the retake as well as a smoke and a flashbang. So eyeballers have got tools to work off of, but where will they be deploying them?
Ew.
Smoke does not go anywhere, but Heap's behind. That's not where it's supposed to be. Flashbang in goes deep, trying to get onto the side as well, but he's been taken down by MUTiRiS, who's been given up that pit position. Shine, only man left, and he's not left with much, but a death wish. One that sAw will be happy to grant.
Yeah, that went about as bad as it could have gone, given that they had those resources available. A lovely round for sAw to have taken, just to give us a little bit of newfound hope coming into the second half. You know, similar play to what the eyeballers did, just bursting out of the apartments. Didn't have as much utility, I don't think, but, you know, just were able to, like you said, catch off those rotates, catch off the quick flank that eyeballers were trying to accomplish, as well as find the entry that they needed on the bomb site. So, well done from sAw in that regard. But a little fumbling, a few mistakes made by the eyeballers at the end when they were 3v3. Certainly was a chance. We don't see an investment here from the eyeballers in that second round, just full USPs. This was a very damage-heavy round from sAw when they did it on their CT. But the eyeballers have opted for a B snap instead of A, and they've fallen right into the trap of trying to double peek Story on an SMG.
Well, feels like Story might just be sending MUTiRiS or UTRX forward to try and hunt for more. He's picked up the AK. Time to see if you can get a bit more money out of it.
Yeah. ID'd that they're USPs, and him being low HP, just like, yeah, MUTiRiS, you go. Thank you for the AK.
I will say, this is a dumb question, but I should ask it while we're on an anti-eco. Was that crosshair always there, Mike?
What, this crosshair?
Yeah.
I believe it's MUTiRIS's crosshair.
Okay, so it's not just been our default observing crosshair.
No.
All right.
Yeah, we get the player crosshair.
Well, those player crosshairs are finding a lot of kills. All of them, actually, with the MAC-10, so maximum value.
I will say, because of course everybody plays on different resolutions. Some play 4:3, some play 16:9. We, of course, will watch the game in 16:9, but some crosshairs do just look mad ugly on 16:9 when they're meant for 4:3. Seen some pretty ungodly ones, but I'm sure it looks pretty for them.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Or whatever those guys would say.
Yeah, whatever the beholder is.
I'm actually an A holder, but yeah.
Nice one.
They might be looking to hold the A bomb site with 4 players already here. The utility's been cycled back to Shine, but that's really just toys left home by Daddy for not being at home to play with himself.
It's still not a very comfortable setup even for the eyeballers. You know, they were allowed a lot of open territory on their T side, but sAw are going to get the same lay of the land at the start of their aggressions. A lot of space to throw these Molotovs and fully clear out angles so they can set up inside of the brackets, but eyeballers still have that 4-man A setup.
This is actually a very good setup to deal with the double lurking into arches. That is going to be they've got information now very fast with the flashbang as well. They know there's only one player trying to hold on to this. They need to call for rotations fast, but they just keep trying to find the lurker. MUTiRiS will not go down. Shine now is left all alone. He's already taken some damage to utility earlier on. There is no way he defends this.
Yeah, even less options moving into construction. No windows to spam. No nothing. That ceiling is so much higher. Setting up util is even more difficult for the CTs on that retake. And so they won't even attempt it. Eyeballer is peeling away. There was a whole set of nades for Shine to continue to delay, but missed out on his timing to redeploy some of those smokes, some of the HEs to slow the roll of sAw. And all it took, a bit of a guessing game. Like, sAw had very similar calls where they would stack the wrong bomb side, and, you know, that's just one of those gambles you take. But I think the modern meta is so much more dictated by some sort of initiative-driven play, and then if that goes wrong, then gamble stacking. We're just kind of seeing very stoic play from both CT sides thus far, and imagine eyeballers aren't going to play that way for the remainder of the CT side. I'm expecting more variation from them. Their T side was very restrained, but hopefully not CT as well.
Justice on boost. I wonder if you can boost directly into the window now. Not sure about that, but yeah. Smoke down, and this is going to be just a straightforward call to try and take over the A bomb site. peppzorlul is one of the only defenders here, and he's not getting much damage. JW is lost. MUTiRiS and Arrows Dodge giving more and more entries, and although sAw's good for a kill of his own, all he can really be good for now is trying to save this M4. Shine does have a flash, a smoke, and a kit, right? So if there's any false hope to be given, he will be the man to deploy it, but with the Molotov deployed behind him now, there is no path of return. This is effectively a 1-on-3. The only boon that he has in his favor is that sAw can cover off from Boiler, and as he starts to get aggressive up and behind over into the apartments area, Arrows Dodge just peeks out and Shine is gone. So you lost your weapon, and you've lost the round as well.
Yeah, story dies 100% of the time, so it is what it is. 2 survivors here for sAw, and a really unfortunate retake attempt there from Shine, in all honesty. You saw how far he got out. Oh my god, even story dies. I thought he was healthy enough. But yeah, you saw how uncomfortable that was for Shine. He got on top of the balcony, nobody peeked him, and suddenly he's just out in the open, exposed to basically everything all at once. And the one angle he's not looking at is the one he gets shot from, so there was definitely a chance. sAw were playing very conservative in that after plant, even with the eyeballers having limited resources, limited health. It looked like there might have been a way in, but maybe this is where some of the issues seem to crop up for the eyeballers. Already a little bit of a struggle starting on the CT side, but Scout out-dueling the AWP of Story, the Molotov helping to mask that peak.
Fantastic space, and sAw can even able to find another kill as well. Bomb boost drops sAw on another 1v1, and he's won it out. This is fantastic. This is exactly what we wanted to see, with that deep mid smoke being able to enable the CTs to get just that aggressive.
Yeah, I feel like they just schooled sAw on how they can play this, but from a 5-on-2 to now 3v2. 2 kills being found by each respective sAw member. It does keep the map in check somewhat. Bomb can be recovered as well. sAw is still closing in on that gap and still trying to catch these players off guard, but this could be a play that sinks them deeper into the hole or lifts them completely out of it.
I appreciate the fact that Shine has not changed his position at all, but Arrows Dodge does have a nade, so all that comes down to it is, do you want to try and nade it through? MUTiRiS is low as well. Shine knows exactly what's going on over here. He needs to find the skill, and as MUTiRiS turns around, it's a shot to the head. Arrows Dodge, no longer any utility left. It's a 1-on-1 on the bomb site that if he wins out quickly, he can get a bomb plant, but it's going to be too slow. sAw is closing the distance as well. Arrows Dodge turns around, but it's just an impossible duel. Shine takes advantage of it, and despite losing out their footing somewhat, they still keep their head. Eyeballers up to 11.
What a beautiful call to have gone for. You know, that's a low buy round from the eyeballers. They have predominantly pistols, the one saved rifle, and they're able to make so much great use of exactly that play you're sort of highlighting. Is, you know, this deep mid smoke, the Molotov to accompany it. You know, JW getting that kill is obviously great and helps alleviate all of the strain. But then sAw just taking deep position in middle is just something that sAw didn't expect. They got fully schooled on how to fully utilize that deep mid smoke, and now they're just trying to send it through Banana right into the forces of Heap, who lands the double headshot. So this has not gone to plan already from sAw, changing the pace right into 2 dead.
He's looking good, man. Gotta say. Reminding me of those Dignitas days.
Yeah, a soldier. One that shoots pretty damn well. Put him under the magnifying glass for this game, and yeah, he's delivering, that's for sure.
sAw are completely lost right now. They have no idea where to go. You can't get bracket control for free either. Eyeballers is doing such a good job of just maintaining, and although there's smoke down, there's so much cover off as well. Heaps has gone and found 2 more. I mean, what else can you ask for at this point? 12-6, the Eyeballers now on map point. This is a wonderful performance.
Yeah, performing well above expectations. You know, you look at the recent match history and you look at the win rates across the board for this map pool for Eyeballers, and it looks pretty dire. Like, I don't know where you go in the veto if you look at and reflect on those numbers, but Eyeballers picking into their Inferno with that 23% win rate. You know, they're increasing it, and they're making a good argument to continue picking it in the future. You know, it does see like a lot of development and work has gone into it. So maybe not putting up the most proactive CT side, but Eyeballers are willing to take those fights, even on the defensive end.
You know what they need to do now? They just need to let sAw get 3 more rounds so that if anyone's watching, they'll be like, oh, 13-9, yeah, that's not. They probably don't know. They got lucky. They won't know how dominant this is. Don't actually do that, guys. That's how you lose games.
Yeah, it's very easy to lose momentum if you're just like, well, we're still gonna win, right?
JW all alone on middle, and he will be prevented from actually taking any duels, but that might be to his benefit. The smoke being down, might want to push through it with the flashbang as well to help out for Sapek to go ahead and take the duel. Not sure why we don't have eyes on there, but maybe it's just too gruesome, too gory, too much blood being spilled. 13-6 Eyeballers looking absolutely stunning.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to shake up the confidence there for sAw coming into this game. I think they would have expected, you know, the higher ranked team, definitely the one that has, I think, bigger aspirations or bigger goals to be accomplished, given that they have, you know...